Hello, everyone, and welcome to All Four Downs, presented by CMG Sports Podcast Network. I'm with Jace Garcia and myself, Obi Muniz. I'm I don't even caught myself. I can't even speak right. Once again, the Georgia Bulldogs are number one, and as always, they are the best team as of now of the college football of 2021. And most of the reaction, we're going to cover all the rankings real quick, and then our opinion on the top seven. And I was surprised that they left it as a top seven. And once again, let's go ahead and start real quick with the bottom five here. We have 21 Pittsburgh, 22 San Diego State, 23 UTSA, which is San Antonio, and
Yes,
then
sir.
24 Utah and 25 Arkansas. Now, what out of these five right here, Jace? What is your reaction to these teams right here?
Well, first off, UTSA, it's deserving. I do think they just threw them in there to shut people like me up, all the group of five fans, to say here they're undefeated. We can just put them in here, but they deserve to be in here. What the one out of these five that really sticks out though is Utah number 24. I'm a Utah fan. They don't deserve to be in the top 25. This is just setting up for Oregon to have another ranked win heading into to when they select the Final Four. So I see. I like it. I'm a Utah fan. I like them being ranked, but you're not going to pull the wool over my eyes with that.
Well, I'm gonna tell you right now, Pittsburgh. I had them ranked for the last 3 weeks, and I'm surprised now they finally put Pittsburgh in, especially that they're in first place in their division in the ACC. Then we talk about San Diego State, which I have them ranked 19. I've been having them ranked for a while. UTSA, I have them ranked 22, and they're coming from the Conference USA. Uh, I had them 25, I think, last week, and recognizing that they're doing what they're supposed to be doing. But I've been monitoring them. Again, they're not playing any great teams out there, but they are winning within their schedule. Utah's a surprise because I don't have Utah in my top 25.
No.
And as far as Arkansas is concerned, that is another surprise. I feel like that's another feeling. And hey, they got to put someone at 25. And I got a feeling that honestly, there's only really at least 22 teams. But I don't think that the committee still got it right. But hey, let's move on to the next one. We have number 16, NC State, number 17, Auburn, 18, Wisconsin, 19, Purdue, and 20, Iowa. What's your take on this?
Like I mentioned on all four downs last week, it was Wisconsin, Iowa, Minnesota. Now Minnesota loses, plug in Purdue. Those three right there. That's just going to be that's going to be the whoever wins that, they're going to win their side of the pack. The Big Ten face Oregon. I mean, face Ohio State and give them a ranked opponent going into the college football playoff. But I mean, NC State, I don't like them being that high. I feel like they're not that great. They have that one. They have that one big win at Clemson, but Clemson's nothing. I feel like a lot of people are holding their hats on them. But I mean, I guess, I mean, it's 16-20. Well, what do you expect? You know?
Right, you're absolutely right. Look, NC State. I'm looking at my rankings that I posted already. Actually, NC State is where they should be. I like that they're in number 16. Auburn, coming from that loss, I would have said that just drop them from the top 25. 18 Wisconsin, they're making a run. I can see that big push that they're trying to do in the one of the divisions in the Big Ten. I totally understand. Purdue, look, I know they got two victories in the top five, right? Knocking out Michigan State and then also knocking out Iowa. But you're talking about Ohio, which you mentioned, right? Ohio State. You're right. They're putting them there so they give these guys more resume. Purdue has never won at Ohio State for the longest, and I don't think they will this weekend. So I think it's just adding more oomph to Ohio State before they get to Michigan for their final game of the regular season. As far as Iowa is concerned, I mean, Iowa to me is kind of lost, man. I don't even have them ranked in the top 25. Um, But hey, moving on to 11 through 15, Texas A&M, number 11, number 12, Wake Forest, 13, Baylor, 14, BYU, 15, Ole Miss.
I like this a lot more. I don't like BYU. BYU's they're a bad team. I don't know why. I like I said on our show last week because they're moving into the Big 12. I'm sure that they're giving them a little bit extra leeway, but I don't think they deserve to be there. But other than that, yeah, I mean these. Besides, I will put Wake Forest ahead of them. Most of these other teams because I mean, one loss still better than two, but I get it. I mean, all the rest of it's pretty clean cut. I think as far as the
Well, ACC, man, is not a good
no,
conference this year, and I think Wake Forest is still overrated to be ranked number 12. As far as Baylor, I mean, I got them dropped to number 24 after having that loss. BYU, it's another team where it's I don't have ranked.
no,
Again, and Ole Miss, ranked number 15 is solid, man. I agree with the committee. Ole Miss number 15, and what do you expect with A&M coming out of the victory against Auburn? Of course, they're going to be there. Uh,
yeah,
and then again, it just boosted up that schedule for Alabama, and we're going to get to that right now. Knocking out the bottom three of the top 10: Oklahoma, Notre Dame, and Oklahoma State. Oklahoma remains at number 8. I kind of disagree on that, to be honest with you. But are they setting up the stage with Oklahoma jumping in the rankings once they go against Baylor, which is high ranked? And
I
then
mean,
Notre Dame moving up one spot, they deserve it. And Oklahoma State, Mm, I like that because of the fact that this is a potential, which they play in the last game of the season, right?
yeah.
They can still play again when it comes to the Big 12 championship.
I just feel like Vince McMahon is on the college football playoff committee. We got all these storylines. Like Oregon has this big game against the ranked Utah. I mean, all the Ohio State stuff, and then whoever does come out of who they do face in the Big Ten championship, they're going to be ranked at the time. And then you got Oklahoma going up against Oklahoma State and Baylor. Like the storylines are being set up and shoved in our faces. So yeah, this does feel a lot like Vince McMahon in WWE rather than college football, I'd say.
If you say so, man. Nice comparison, but I'll leave it like that. Now we focus on the top 7, the way they broadcast it on ESPN. Number 1 is Georgia. Once again, I'm wearing it, baby. Right? They're representing,
Yep.
right? However, I'm gonna tell you all these games that happened this past weekend. I know a lot of people were crying, okay? And I know that whoever was going for the underdogs was celebrating because man, they won a lot of money against these bookies. But number 1, Georgia, most definitely the best defense in the world. Number 2, Alabama. I'm a big surprise on that. Number 3, Oregon. 4, Ohio State. 5, Cincinnati. 6, Michigan. 7, Michigan State. Now, everyone's talking about Cincinnati, that they're still undefeated. They're handling their business. They don't look like a team that is ready for the college football playoffs. They're not ready, especially the last
What?
3 games. We've been trying. Look, they haven't been playing good football. Now
They've
they
been
could
winning
come up with
games
this.
though.
They're winning. Yes,
Okay.
they are winning, but they're not winning actual football the way they're supposed to. This is not the Cincinnati Bearcats that I know from last season, that they were a big threat, that almost defeated Georgia in the bowl games, that was handling business every week last year. This is a different Cincinnati Bearcats. And those of you that follow Cincinnati, you know what I'm talking about. They are suspect. And sooner or later, they're going to crack. And I won't be surprised if they finish one loss before the end of this season, the way they're playing
Oh,
football. Okay.
dang.
Now, you're right. They are winning. And that's why they're ranked number 5. Because, again, should Ohio State fall or Oregon, they're going to move right into the top 4.
Yeah, I mean, last year that is a big thing. Michigan State being ahead of, I mean, Michigan being ahead of Michigan State. I mean, we've talked about it a lot on this show how that just shakes up, but I get why they did it. I mean, to
Well, I
make
got
that
the
game
answer for
at
that.
the end,
Mhm.
that game at the end, Michigan being maybe a top 5 team at that time, top 5 matchup for Ohio State, Michigan. But I mean, I do also get. I mean, you can make the argument that Purdue loss is worse than a Michigan State loss for Michigan. But I mean, I get it. It looks bad when they're right next to each other. But I mean, we've talked about this on the show before. But Cincy, no, I mean, I get what you're saying. They're not as dominant as they have been, but they're still taking care of business. A 0 in the loss column is still a 0. I mean, they're winning games. I don't care about how much. They're still winning games. Same with Oklahoma. That's why Oklahoma should be in this top 7. They're winning football games. It doesn't matter if they're impressive or not, but they are still winning. And against, I mean, in Oklahoma, that's Power 5. They're beating Power 5 teams. I don't understand that disrespect. Cincy, sure, if you want to give me that, but I mean, they've been doing it. They've been handling their business. This is the second year in a row they're going to go undefeated. So you got to give them the respect at some point. And it's just ridiculous what they're doing. But now
I like how
feel
Adam.
more confident.
I like Adam coming on and saying "uh-oh" because as soon as he saw Joe come onto the set, he knows things about to get on fire pretty soon. But I like to go back to the Facebook user. Thank you for supporting our show. And he states, "How is Michigan ahead of Michigan State when the Spartans just beat them? Oregon is rightfully ahead of Ohio State." Well, and the explanation that they gave was the way that Michigan State lost the game last Saturday to Purdue with the final score 40-29. Purdue not even ranked, okay, now they're ranked as of this list today, right? That the way they lost and being that they were number 3, that's why they dropped all the way to number 7.
They should have dropped out of the top 25 for that loss. Are you kidding me?
And for what he said, anything can happen on the next vote. Can I finish my sentence?
Finish your sentence.
Thank you. There we go. Already up in the Kool-Aid, and he want to be all late on the set. Get out of here. So anyways, the explanation was the way they lost, but again, they're still neck to neck. I think that's the reason why that they displayed it the top 7 when every week, right, is always the top 6. So with that in mind, anything can still happen, especially the Big Ten. They're still clashing each other, and I will review the schedule for each of the top 7 momentarily. But Joe, now you're back. Hey, welcome. What is your take on the top 25?
Oh boy. Listen, this is how did Alabama do this week? How did Oregon do this week? How did Ohio State do this week? How did Michigan do this week? We know how Michigan State did. Awful. They shouldn't even be in the top 10. It was one of the worst losses by a number 3 team in the history of college football. What a disgrace and an embarrassment. Get them out of the top 10. They don't belong there. Everybody else struggled with the exception of Georgia this week. The only team that we know is a truly dominant football team. I don't understand why Cincinnati's got to blow someone out by 50 and Alabama can skate by against garbage in the SEC. Why is that? How come Ohio State can skid by people? Give me a break. You have to beat the team in front of you. The one thing I heard in the first 12 minutes before I got on here that I liked was when Jay said, teams won all their games 2 years in a row. What else do they have to do? They got to win by 40? That's not how football works. You said they're suspect, Obi? Did you see the 2 defensive stands at the end of the game?
Actually, yes, I did. I watched the game.
Championship caliber defense. Offense got to get back on track. That is one of the best defenses
there you go.
in the
you just said it. The offense going to get back on track.
I would listen. If I got to watch another college football playoff and Georgia's going to blow somebody's doors off, does it have to be Oregon again? Does it have to be Ohio State again? Do I have to watch one of those teams get blown out? I can't just get me a little Cincinnati action. I think Cincinnati would give them a much better game than any of those other teams based on what I've seen the last couple of weeks. There's only one team that goes out week in and week out for the last 2 years and is taking care of business each and every week, and that school's in Ohio, and it's not Ohio State.
That's your opinion, and a lot of people will debate if Cincinnati can handle.
A lot of people will agree with me.
Ohio State, but I'm gonna tell you this: why, if you're playing against a team that's 3-6, you have a 14-point lead. Why would you blow that lead? Why? Because that offense is suspect.
Why did Alabama skate by? That offense must be suspect.
Well, Alabama definitely needed to be dropped. I agree.
Why did
Alabama
Ohio
does
State
not deserve to
Why
be
did
number
Ohio
2.
State struggle to get past a lousy 3-7 Nebraska team?
Everyone's struggling, regardless, and so I mean, I love
the answer to any of my questions that I've asked. A 6-point Alabama win at home against LSU, who's garbage, 4-6.
Well, can we say that everybody else besides Georgia is garbage this past week? I think we also agree with that.
Absolutely. So, but again, I don't understand why Cincinnati's held as some difference. Well, you didn't win by 30, so you suck. What? Everybody else can skate by against crap in their conference, and they're fine? Let's stop pretending that the SEC is 15 teams deep, because it ain't. It's about 3 teams. Probably 2. I'm being generous.
And that's why I love about
the Big Ten is garbage as well.
Let's stop.
Every year we have to pretend Wisconsin and Penn State are good. Every year we have to pretend for the first time, but maybe Minnesota's good. No, they're not. It's the same stuff every year. Meanwhile, this team's going undefeated. There's no love. Are you kidding me? What a joke. Every time they put out another one of these rankings, it makes the sport of college football a bigger joke.
Yeah. I mean, like I said earlier, it's like Vince McMahon writing out the story. I mean, you got Utah, who Oregon's going to beat, and now they got this ranked win. You got the mumble that is Purdue, Iowa, and Wisconsin that's going to come out and play the Buckeyes in the championship game. And then you got just a scattering of SEC teams to make the SEC look better. I mean, the story's writing itself.
Hold on, Jace. Hold on. For those of you that don't understand the comment of Vince McMahon, which allowed to form this group called NXT, built all these superstars, and then when they get to the main roster, they're not used that way. And so there's always a fallout, especially now that so many top superstars are being released from the WWE. This is what Jace is referring to in regards to what's going on in the college football. But Hector's saying that Cincinnati is being invited to the table but not allowed to eat. You're right, man. That is true. I think this ranking should have been putting Cincinnati at least number 4 in the rankings. However, everybody did terrible this past. I don't know if it was because they're anticipating the daylight savings, because not only college football was bad, the NFL was bad. So everybody was bad this weekend. Everybody was bad. And I said from the beginning of the show, if you were going for the underdogs, you were making some money this past weekend. So, and if I'm not recalled, Joe, you made some money this weekend, huh? With Tennessee Titans?
I did, yeah. Played the money line.
So the underdog wins this weekend.
Yeah, listen, a great week for the underdogs all over. And you're right, Ovi. This was a really bizarre weekend as far as football was concerned. I think all the other sports, I think things went the way they were supposed to. But yeah, for football, it was my goodness.
I mean, that's just football. As soon as you think you have an understanding of where things are going, everything gets shaked up and madness ensues.
Look, I said from the very beginning, as soon as before these rankings started, and my explanation about Cincinnati, let the cards play out the way it is. Should Cincinnati win out, I know for a fact that Cincinnati will be in the college football playoffs. Why? I'm going back, and like I said, all these seniors, everybody came back from last year. And I'm going to say right now, are they playing the same way they played last year? No, they were a lot better last year. So I don't know what's going on the last few weeks, what's going on in the locker room with the Bearcats. But I tell you this, if they win out, they will be number 4 ranked. And we're going to see a rematch between Georgia and Cincinnati. Guaranteed. Now, as far as the 2 and 3 is concerned, now I'm at a loss because I did tell you guys that Michigan State was the Cinderella team. The way they lost, they don't even deserve to be top 4. But should Alabama lose, they will be eliminated from the top 4. Guaranteed. The question is, which team will be slotted in there? So Georgia, should Oregon win out? They also suspect because I don't even know if they can still contend with Oregon State. All right. So you got, let's say Georgia, Oregon, or Ohio State. Put in Cincinnati in there. And then there goes Oklahoma. Should Alabama get eliminated? Should Oklahoma be in the top 4?
No, but they're going to be.
Oklahoma should be. I mean, the undefeated. I don't understand why the undefeated teams are getting so much slack. I mean, they deserve to be up there. I understand. But Oklahoma, they'll write their own destiny with the Oklahoma State and the Baylor wins, and that'll make them look all nice and
you're right. Now we have Oklahoma versus Baylor, which Baylor's ranked, if I'm not mistaken, 15, right? So, I'm sorry, they're ranked 13, right? So now they're there, and that will, once Oklahoma wins that game, which is very hard because I don't think they're favorite. I'm not sure. But that's something that we could talk about Thursday when we make our picks. But let me get some more couple of comments there real quick. Hector says, so regardless of Oklahoma winning out, they stay out. Or that is the question. I don't think so. I think that once Oklahoma starts sparking it up after coming up from the bye week, let's see if they can make it happen. They should make it. I mean, they're the Big 12. We'll see, right? Suspect wins. You're right, Adam. All the suspects win. And then Adam says barely, but hey, it's what's good for it. It's good talk about college football, right? You love it or you hate it. Joe's hating it right now, but at the end, once we start doing the bowl games, he's going to start loving it. I know he will.
Let me explain something. This is coming from a good place. This is my love of college football, the most purest, most beautiful form of football. College football. Okay? I want to save college football from itself. And by from itself, I mean from the Power 5. Specifically the SEC, which I love. I do. I'm a big SEC fan. You could almost say I'm an Alabama fan. That's how passionate I've been. I mean, not for nothing. Everybody knows how I feel about Mac Jones.
Hold on for a second. I gotta take my glasses off. I started fogging up. Hold on for a second.
Yeah,
you've been killing SEC, and now you're saying you love SEC? Come on, man.
I admire Alabama greatly. I have a real affinity for them and for Nick Saban and for that friend. I think they're great. Don't get me wrong.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like that the SEC is completely overvalued. I don't like that you've got how many 3-loss SEC teams in the top 25, again, just to kind of boost the numbers for Georgia and Bama. They don't need that. Georgia and Bama don't need their strength of schedule boosted with nonsense. They don't. Nick Saban is the devil. However,
I think they still need love for like the Sun Belt Conference. They need some loving. They deserve it. They deserve to be. They're not even in the top 25. And you add such as Louisiana or Appalachian State, they should take those spots away from those 3-loss teams. You're absolutely right. You lose 3 games, you shouldn't even not be in the top 25, period.
Let me tell you something. Let me tell you how they did things in ancient Rome. And when they stopped doing it, the whole place collapsed and the empire was destroyed. But early on in Roman history, there was a king, and they threw out the last of the kings, and they went with a consul. Okay? Equal representation, 2 leaders. Okay? Then, about 150 years later, they brought in the people's champion, basically. All right? Someone who was the voice of the poor. And for the longest time, having that person, having everybody's voice represented, was the greatest time in Roman history. As soon as they cut out the poor guy, the whole thing went to shit. That's what happened. There's nobody left to fight and work. So let me tell you what I think they should do is, listen, you've got the Power 5 and you've got the group of garbage, right? Or whatever you want to call them. 6 spots, 6 playoff spots. I'm sorry, whoever the group of 5 person is, whoever it is, Cincinnati, Coastal, whoever it ends up being. But let's be fair about this. SEC gets one, ACC gets one. You got to work that out in your own conference. Y'all want to be in the same conference? Great. You get one bid to the playoffs. Send the best SEC team, the best ACC team, the best Big Ten, whatever. Everybody gets one. And from the rest comes the last entrant. I think that's amazing. I think that would be great. And that would be equal representation for everybody. And then maybe everybody will want to stop getting their head up the SEC's ass.
Are you
well I'm gonna tell you what, to give you the update on this, they are planning a 12-team playoff. They are. The decision hasn't been made. Is it going to
be any SEC teams, though? Because I'm not interested in that.
So what they got is
6 of those spots go to the SEC.
They're still going to have the committee. They're still going to have the same committee, the same format, but they are giving value to the other conferences, okay? Other conferences.
Ovi, let me ask you something. Hold on, I'm going to ask you a question.
I'm giving you an update
seriously when the same committee already doesn't respect those conferences and has made it abundantly clear they're going to change the way they do it next year? I doubt it.
They're mandating the other conferences to be involved in the playoffs. So that's what's good about it. And I think by the time they execute that, Nick Saban will be already retired from college football. So, and it should start within 2025 or earlier 2024 because of the current contract that they have on the current playoff system, which ends in 2024. So we could see that happening, and they have to come up with a solution no later than January of 2022 because of all the logistics that they have to have in preparation for the college football playoffs moving into 12 teams. So that's in the works.
I highly doubt the Southern Belt. Can you see them embracing a mandate? I don't.
Dude, I mean, regardless if it's
Come on, that's a good one. Are you guys don't even get that? Come on.
No, you
genius.
I get what you're saying.
It's the smartest thing anyone said on this show tonight.
No, he's not it.
Listen, regardless if you do a 12-team, 6-team, 4-team, 65
no one's ever going to be satisfied.
No one ever is. And there's always going to be someone out, but I mean,
real quick,
as evident as it is as the bias, I mean, that will always be there, always be evident.
Of course it is. Of course.
Yeah.
But hey, real quick, last 3 games for Georgia, they played Tennessee this weekend. Then they have Charlotte Southern and then Georgia Tech for the last game. So already 3 wins for Georgia, moving into the SEC championship.
Crazy. That's a rivalry. That Georgia, always goes wild, dude.
If they limited Florida, man, and look what happened there. But hey, real quick, Alabama, they got a weak schedule this week. They played New Mexico State. All right, good job, buddy. Arkansas, and then they end the season with Auburn.
Oregon. So nice to end the schedule. One of the little programs, huh? Very kind.
Oregon plays Washington State, Utah, and then they ended with Oregon State. So they got pretty challenging there. Ohio State plays Purdue this weekend. Then they're off to Michigan State and Michigan.
I am strongly thinking about taking Purdue. I advise you.
Kill a 2, a 3, and a 4 in the same season.
It's a plus 700. It's a really big payoff. I think I'm going to throw some money at that. I just think
I'm going to advise you that Purdue has not won at Ohio State.
Yeah.
If you think this is going to be the first time, then that's your money, not mine. And Adam, I don't think so, buddy. And whoever's sad and crying about your team not being in there, I see that little icon there. My bad, your fault. But Georgia Tech will not upset Georgia. Don't even go there, buddy. All right. But your Buckeyes, I tell you, are suspect. Then we got Michigan. Michigan plays Penn State this weekend. They play Maryland and end the season with Ohio State. And then Michigan State, they are playing. Oh, hold on for a second. Yep. Michigan State plays Maryland this weekend, then Ohio State, and end their season against Penn State. Now, I don't know about Penn State. I thought they were good.
Yeah, we always think they're good. Every year, we got to go through 4 or 5 games of, I don't know, they're 1-3, but are they better than their record? No, they're not. They never are. Stop.
Hey, Adam, join DraftKings or Sugar House. Yeah, go
What's
ahead.
Hector doing his picks?
Notre Dame, Purdue. Oh, actually, Hector's doing better in college football than he is in NFL. So, but we're going to be talking about that tomorrow during our All 4 Downs NFL pick special. But Notre Dame, Purdue, the Spartans couldn't. Irish should outrank Michigan State. LOL.
I get that argument. Yeah.
Yes.
Nah.
Oh
Anything can happen.
Dude, that's what I'm. Look, this is the common opponent thing.
Bitcoin.
Again, we're talking about if Michigan State beat Michigan, how in God's good name could you justify them in this order? The only reason Oregon's ahead of Ohio State is because, and I've said this 100 times on the show, they beat them. We already saw the result of, hey, what if these teams played? Well, Oregon wins. That's how it worked. That's what happened. I don't care about any other games or losses. I know when they played head-to-head, I know that the Ducks beat the Bucks. What else do I need to know?
Ooh, I like that rhyme.
Thank you, sir.
You should have been a rapper.
I'm thinking about it all the time.
You hang out with Jared too much on the boxing podcast.
Very much so.
But you're right. And last week, when they came out with the first one, they did identify why they put Oregon in front of Ohio State. This explanation has no merit to what they said last week to why Michigan's in front of Michigan State. All they said was the way they lost to Purdue, which was very terrible, is the reason why they're behind Michigan. But if that was the case, you're right. They should be out of the top 10, right?
Yes.
So let's see what happens this week when Michigan State plays and Michigan to see and compare the two. I wouldn't be surprised if they both win this week that we see Michigan State move up front of Michigan. How? I don't know. Kind of weird. It's a weird process, but I'm still bumfounded about Alabama still being the number 2. I think Oregon should move up in there because they did win their game convincingly. And Alabama at least should have been bumped down to number 3. That's my take on that. But hey, it is what it is. Those are the games. And ladies and gentlemen, check us out on Thursday night when we go ahead and make our picks. All right, our top 10. It's going to be awesome games this weekend. I'm telling you right now, you want to listen to Ovi Muniz because he's going to make you some money. Joe, on the other hand.
Can I just slap Hector's face here for a minute?
I knew you were looking at that.
I mean, you know what, Hector? There's something wrong with you. Who said anything like that? Giants beat the Saints who beat the Bucks, so Danny Dimes is better than Brady. That's not true, but that means that the Giants' chances of beating the Bucks, in my opinion, has gone up exponentially. The chances of the Giants getting the better of the Bucks, I think, is much higher than if they hadn't beat the Saints or if they weren't coming off a huge win off a great team like the Raiders. I don't know who this Adam guy is, but he's dope. I love that guy, and I hope his daughter feels better.
Yeah, I hope your daughter feels better, my man. Hey, I haven't seen him in years. Hey, if I'm not mistaken, I think he lives in Alabama, but he is originally from New Britain, Connecticut. So, hey, hope your daughter is okay, and God bless.
Roll Tide, roll.
He's not. He's a Buckeye fan.
I can't just. That happens to me every now and again. Just say it. I think I'm becoming a fan. I don't know.
I don't know. But, hey, stay tuned to our podcast. Once again, visit clovercrestmedia.com hey, actually, I shouldn't even be saying this. Joe, tell us more about Clovercrest Media.
It's great.
That's it. Just great.
No, there's great stuff. There's a ton of great shows. There's all these amazing. There's like 6 amazing true crime shows. I mean,
what?
like,
Stop, Joe. Stop. I'll play the clip, man.
Hello, my name is Joe Aguirre. I'm the president of Clovercrest Media Group. And here at CMG, we have a wide variety of podcasts, including sports shows like Keys to the City, The Roll Call, Throwing Jabs, All Four Downs, and Jawing About the G-Men. And great true crime shows like Sticky Week, Crimes and Consequences, Ivy League Murders, and Bird, the unsolved murder of David Eichmann. You can find all these podcasts and so much more by visiting clovercrestmedia.com.
Hey, thanks for everyone for watching our show. Once again, follow us on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. And don't forget to check us out tomorrow with the NFL picks with Hector V and myself. And on Thursday, college football with the same guys you see here with Joe and Jace and myself. So thank you for watching. Take care, everyone. Go Bulldogs.
Roll Tide Roll.
Let's go, Utes.
Utes. You got to be crazy.
The real you.